Sometimes the most painful part of getting sick is the getting better part. Waiting on hold for an appointment, sitting in crowded waiting rooms, standing in line at the pharmacy. That's painful. Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy remove these painful parts of getting better with things like 24/7 virtual visits and prescriptions delivered to your door. Thanks to Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy, healthcare just got less painful.
The following program does not offer personal medical advice. Please consult your doctor before using any treatment or product we cover. Welcome to Go to Health Media with your host, Jonathan Marks. We provide a welcoming environment where experts educate you on important health topics, answer your questions, and provide information from which you can benefit in consultation with your doctor. You can visit and subscribe to the show at gotohealthmedia.com. And now, here is Jonathan Marks. Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Marks. Welcome back to Go to Health Media, where we interview health experts from around the world to educate you and help you elevate your life. You can subscribe to our website and enjoy all the educational videos we create at gotohealthmedia.com. And if you are a health expert, you can also apply there to be on the show. So today's topic. I know you've heard about dwarfism. While this is a rare condition, stay tuned because 80% of children born with achondroplasia, that's the technical name for the most common form of dwarfism, 80% of children born with this disorder have parents of average height and weight. This disorder is the result of a gene variant that affects bone growth. Achondroplasia is a genetic condition. People living with this condition may have to work harder than others at everyday tasks, like turning off a light switch or opening doors. While often associated only with short stature, people with achondroplasia can face health complications like sleep-disordered breathing, chronic pain, and dental issues, on top of the emotional toll of social stigmas and biases. Our guest today will provide much-needed education around the condition, highlight the importance of early intervention, and discuss the latest medical advancements to offer hope to parents and families navigating this diagnosis. If you want to learn more about this, you can visit the website risinglove.com. That's risinglove.com. Dr. Clayne K. White is the Rose Brown Endowed Chair of Pediatric Orthopedics at Children's Hospital of Colorado and is our guest today. Welcome to the show, Dr. White. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good. So tell us, doctor, what is achondroplasia and how does it impact a person's life beyond just height?
Well, achondroplasia is the most common form of short-limb dwarfism. This results from a change in a gene that mediates growth of our arms and our legs, and to a lesser extent, our spine. This growth difference results in adults for men who average about 4 feet 4 inches tall and women who are just over 4 feet. Most people with achondroplasia live really happy and productive lives, but for many tasks, they rely on adaptive equipment for activities such as driving, shopping, and other forms of self-care.
So what are the realities and misconceptions of living with achondroplasia? You referred to that, but tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, well, the reality is that they're shorter than average, obviously. They do quite well in the world. They have jobs, they have families, they have friends, and live their lives, daily lives, just much like you and I do. I think the most common misconception here is that just being short-statured is a significant disability, when the reality is it's really more the associated health conditions that go along with achondroplasia, not necessarily the short stature.
So tell us more about that. What are some of the health complications that are typically associated with this?
Just to kind of touch on the most important ones, infants with achondroplasia can develop life-threatening spinal cord compression, which results in sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. This has been estimated to be as high as 7% in babies with achondroplasia. So it's really important that they establish early care with close observation. As the children grow up, they can have some issues with their ear, nose, and throat system, so frequent ear infections, something we call obstructive sleep apnea. So they have difficulty breathing when they sleep at night, and this can have consequences with their daily energy levels and function. They can also have some orthopedic problems, bowing, that's where I come in. They can have bowing of their legs, they can have some spine problems. And then as adults, because of narrowing of the spinal canal related to their growth, they can have pinching of the nerves as they leave the spinal canal. And if left untreated, this can result in long-term weakness and disability and some pain as well.
So I understand from statistics that 80% of kids, at least born with dwarfism or achondroplasia, are from normal parents. So you really don't know if this is going to happen. What's the process by which this takes place?
Well, so we call these spontaneous mutations or variations in the gene. Again, as you pointed out, is responsible for 80% of individuals with achondroplasia. Now, once you have achondroplasia, this becomes embedded within your own genome. And so this, as an autosomal dominant condition, if you have achondroplasia, then you have a 50% chance of passing achondroplasia on to your child.
So can you tell us, are there some updates in treatments for achondroplasia and how people can get through life with this condition?
I think as far as treatment goes, first and foremost, it's establishing care with an experienced healthcare team so that you have a knowledgeable group of healthcare providers who can navigate some of these health conditions. Now, there are some new therapies that have emerged. There's one FDA-approved treatment, which will help with growth velocity and ultimately the stature of the individual. This treatment increases growth by about 1.5 centimeters a year, which is in American, 0.6 of an inch.
Yes.
So if you're on the treatment for 10 years, it's about it's 6 extra inches of growth. It's a little unclear at this point how much that affects the other health conditions I've already talked about. But early data would suggest that it does improve quality of life in children with achondroplasia.
Good. And can you talk to us about some of the social and emotional aspects of having achondroplasia?
Clearly, there are going to be some societal biases against people who look a little different, and short stature fits that bill as well. For children with achondroplasia, there is a significant amount of bullying, and schools need to be aware of this. Schools also have to be prepared to deal with some of the height differences in terms of providing physical accommodation so that children can get to the drinking fountain so they can go to the bathroom by themselves and take care of themselves, and have a desk that fits them appropriately. These same accommodations need to be acknowledged through adult life when these individuals go out and work regular jobs.
And how soon after birth is achondroplasia diagnosed? Is it 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? When do we know?
Well, sometimes it's prenatally. It can be picked up if you have extensive ultrasound surveillance, but almost always it's picked up within the first month of life. If you've seen a child with achondroplasia, it's usually pretty obvious at birth. But for people who have less experience with achondroplasia, they might not realize what is going on. And so testing is often required to clarify the diagnosis.
And what kind of differences at birth would a parent see?
These children tend to have slightly larger heads and shorter limbs. But to be fair, all babies have bigger heads and shorter limbs. They might have a little more fat rolls because when their limbs grow, they don't grow as long, but the skin tends to be the same amount of skin. So they'll have a little bit of extra soft tissue in their limbs.
Good. And we can go to learn more, I understand, at risinglove.com. What will we see when we go to risinglove.com? What's there?
This is a variety of resources provided by BioMarin. If people have more questions, I would just encourage them to go and check out the website. And if they need more information, they can certainly go to Children's Colorado, our website, or to Little People of America, or LPA.
So, doctor, tell us a little bit about the therapies that are available for people with achondroplasia.
Yeah, there are some new therapies which are available and emerging to be available. There's one FDA-approved treatment for achondroplasia, which is aimed at increasing growth velocity. And so it certainly will help with gaining height and ultimate adult stature. At this point, it's unclear how much it helps the other health issues that we see in achondroplasia. But our hope is that with increased growth, that some of these other health issues will be addressed as well.
Great. And what's an average lifespan for somebody with achondroplasia? Is it normal? Is it shortened?
Yeah, I know people with achondroplasia have a normal lifespan. Adults, as they age with achondroplasia, do tend to have a little bit more disability with pain and mobility. They live as long as anyone else, and they don't have other health issues at an increased incidence, such as heart disease or diabetes or other organ systems.
So I'm finding this to be positive news about people with achondroplasia. They tend to live a pretty normal life.
They do quite well, and doesn't mean they don't have unique health issues that need to be addressed. And our hope is that we can get better at addressing these issues and making sure that they can live the fullest and happiest lives possible.
Thanks so much for being with us and educating about this achondroplasia, which is one form, and I understand the most common form of dwarfism. That's correct?
That is correct, among several hundred, yes.
Wow, several hundred types, but achondroplasia is the most common. Great. So we've been talking with Dr. Klain K. White. He is the Rose Brown Endowed Chair of Pediatric Orthopedics at Children's Hospital of Colorado. Thanks so much for being with us today, Dr. White, and educating us about achondroplasia.
Well, thank you for having me.
Good. And as we say at the end of every show, remember, go to health. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in this week to Go to Health Media. Be sure to join Jonathan Marks and another health expert next time. You can also catch the program on your favorite podcast platform. Until our next show, be sure to visit us on the web at gotohealthmedia.com and elevate your life.
Sometimes the most painful part of getting sick is the getting better part. Waiting on hold for an appointment, sitting in crowded waiting rooms, standing in line at the pharmacy. That's painful. Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy remove these painful parts of getting better with things like 24/7 virtual visits and prescriptions delivered to your door. Thanks to Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy, healthcare just got less painful.